For the second time this year, I found myself back in my hometown, Ünye. Normally, I wouldn't travel there this often. In fact, before this year, it had been over 2 years since my last visit, and I was not planning to go there at all. But you know how life is. Sometimes you just have to let go of the plans and follow the flow. There were two main reasons why I ended up going this cozy little city twice. First, it was Bayram, a religious festive holiday in Turkey, which means visiting family. Second, some close friends were getting engaged on the second day of Bayram. To be honest, that two events were not enough for me to go there. Once maybe, but twice? Anyway, my sister and her friend had other ideas. They asked if I would try with them, and they know how much I love road trips. So I couldn't say no. And just like that, this trip turned into a perfect combo of three things: a road trip, Bayram, and a good engagement party. That's what I call a solid deal. The first day surprised me with bright sunshine and warmth, which is rare in the Black Sea region. Yes, even in the summertime. I grabbed the chance and along the coast. And you know what? Running with those views felt just amazing. It's not like that in Istanbul. I mean, if you are lucky enough to live next to the seaside or willing to drive at least 30 minutes to run next to seaside, then yes, that happens in Istanbul too. But having that luxury this easy felt just great. After the run, I headed straight to the beach, grabbed a cold beer, and just sat there enjoying the sun. It was my only day off, so I made it count. The rest of the trip was going to be all about driving from one place to another because of the events I mentioned before. That only free day passed quickly, and then came the big day, the engagement party. Surrounded by trees, laughter, and that typical small town vibe that makes everything feel more intimate and real. It was one of those gatherings where you actually feel happy just seeing people moving into a new chapter of life. I didn't do much, just sharing stories, dancing a little, clapping like crazy, and of course, drinking some well deserved beers. I didn't drink too much though, because watching people happy made me feel amazing already. The best thing about waking up to the next day was not having a hangover. Otherwise, it would be torture to drive to my grandparents' village. Yes, we woke up early and hit the road for Görele. It is another town in Black Sea region. And you know what? I'll give this to that little known small town. The place is a dream, especially during summer. The sound of the river echoing between the mountains, the unreal green scenery, and a sky so blue it could inspire a poem. There, I sat down with my family, drank tea, and had some fresh desserts my grandma cooked. We did have a few typical family conversations, the kind that sometimes gets too real. We sorted things out in the end, a happy ending with conflicts left behind, which is what these family gatherings deserve. Even though I was exhausted from the discussion and the idea of driving back, that half day in nature with my grandparents recharged me. Unfortunately, on the way back to Ünye, another deep family talk happened. Honestly, that's the part I don't enjoy at all about these family trips. But sometimes, these conversations are a must-have. We didn't fully solve the problem this time, but we had a nice dinner together afterward, and that helped ease things. I think that proves sometimes that the food is the best therapy. You know what they say. If you feel like you hate everyone, you need to eat. The following day, we made our way to my dad's village and visited my grandmother's grave, where she rests in peace. That is a special place for me. I believe I mentioned this before, but there is no harm to do it again, because the story is quick and I believe it may inspire you too. My grandmother had a small world. She couldn't see much of this beautiful land and never had a chance to see the world from different angles. No new countries, no new cities, no new cultures, no sound of a different language. And that inspired me to explore and experience more. So now, I have a tattoo that reminds me of her, and I'm taking my grandma everywhere with me, hoping she's watching me traveling the world and telling stories. Anyway, after an emotional 5 minutes, we went to spend time with relatives. The village sits nearly 2,000 meters above sea level. It's peaceful, quiet, and surrounded by the kind of nature that makes you want to just sit down and breathe for a while. So, we stayed there for quite a bit, just slowing down and taking it all in. Finally, it was the last day of this journey, and the day was mostly about resting. No driving, no visits, just some light workout at home and then chilling on my parents' balcony. I sat there being a lazy ass, just watching the view, listening to the wind, and doing absolutely nothing. And honestly, that was exactly what I needed at the end of this exhausting journey. For the closure of this story, I just want to say, sometimes the best trips are the ones you don't plan, they sneak up on you. The small town that I call home gave me that this year twice, and who knows, maybe one more is on the horizon.